Good morning. This is Luke Thomas Holmquist here at the Earthquake Forecast Center, quakeprediction.com. It is 9:05 in the morning on Monday, August 14th, 2023. 9:05 in the morning, Monday, August 14, 2023. We have an earthquake coming up tomorrow morning in the San Francisco Bay. Let's take a look at what we have there. First of all, we had a warning, and we'll check that warning here in a second. Yes, it was for a 5.2 to hit in, you can read it on here on the screen here, Southern California. And then we said near San Diego. That was the highest risk, was near San Diego. But we also said Southern California. We had a 4.9 hit in Southern California on August 10th. And that happened about 4 hours after we said the quake should hit about 8 o'clock in the morning. And it hit around noon in California. So we were about 4 hours off on that. And the magnitude, this was put out by a computer. The computer said 4.9. And I trust the computers more than the humans because the computers are programmed to be correct most of the time. So I could see them adjusting it maybe at 0.1, like 4.8 or 5.0, but usually the computers are pretty right on. So we'll go with what the computer said. 4.9, we were calling for a 5.2, so we were very close on the magnitude and the location and the time, date, everything. We were saying on the morning of August 10th, and that's when it happened. We said 8 a.m. and it was 12, so we were 4 hours off on that. Very close on the magnitude as well. So we're getting, the forecasts are getting extremely accurate. Here's that quake, the 4.9 that hit there. And let's take a look at what's happening for tomorrow. We have a 24-hour warning right now. It's the 14th of August for 3.6 to 4.0, most likely a 3.6 in the San Francisco Bay, and most likely to hit around 5 o'clock in the morning, August 15th, tomorrow morning. And that should be right in the San Francisco Bay. Here's another forecast model. It shows the northeast portion of the San Francisco Bay, but it should be somewhere in the San Francisco Bay around 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, August 15th, which is Tuesday, August 15th, at about 5 o'clock in the morning. So look for that quake to happen within the next 24 hours. In Japan, we were looking for a 5.5, very strong earthquake here, just south of Tokyo. And that should hit about noon on the 15th, their time. And of course, they're like 12 hours or so ahead of us, half a day ahead of us over in Japan. So that should be happening very soon in Japan, about 5.5 over in Japan on August 15th at around noon Japan time, that right there south of Tokyo. And you can see this large peak coming up here on the 15th. For Japan, this spike in risk here, we called for a 4.7 and it was a 5.8. And that happened exactly on time there. The magnitude, I'm not sure why that was off, but it should have been about a 4.7. Calling for a 5.5 coming up on August 15th around noon in Japan. Taiwan, we had a spike in risk here on the 14th. That produced a 4.7 earthquake. And Italy, we have a spike in risk here coming up on August 14th today, and that should produce about a 4.0 quake. Alaska, we have very high risk right in the Anchorage area, the 12th and the 13th. Well, that's pretty much over on that, and that extends into the 14th as well today. So we'll see what happens there. It's more difficult to forecast in the northern hemisphere because of the magnetic bands are closer together, so it's difficult to detect the tangling of the magnetic bands up in that area. Easier to forecast quakes in California, Japan, Italy, Greece, and that area, Turkey, which are in an area where it's easier to detect the magnetic field. So once again, looking for a 3.6 earthquake in the San Francisco Bay coming up tomorrow morning. And here's another forecast model here that should hit about 5 in the morning on August 15th, and a 5.5 just south of Tokyo. And Thank you so much for following us here at QuakePrediction.com. We were on our website was on Fox 11 News. Before that earthquake hit, they were saying, Dr. Lucy said, no, it's impossible to forecast earthquakes. And of course, we got a very, very strong earthquake, 4.9 earthquake, exactly as we said it would hit. Not the exact location, but we had Southern California. And so it hit as forecasted. Dr. Lucy is a very amazing person. I've read her book and I've read a lot of things by her, and she's an amazing person. However, earthquake forecasting is now my field of study for 18 years. So thank you for following us here at 263,000 followers on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And we will be forecasting the entire globe within the next 6 months or so. So thanks and stay tuned. Again, this is Luke at QuakePrediction.com.